October 2003, China's first astronaut, Yang Liwei, orbits Earth in the Shenzhou 5 spacecraft. Everything is going according to plan. Then he hears it, a knocking sound, like someone or something tapping on the outside of his ship. He describes a wooden mallet hitting a metal surface. The sound comes and goes. He searches the ship but finds nothing, no explanation, no source. 20 years later, that sound remains one of space exploration's most puzzling mysteries. To understand why this sound is so unsettling, we must return to that historic mission. October 15, 2003 marked a monumental achievement for China, their first human spaceflight. Yang Liwei, a former fighter pilot, was scheduled for a 21-hour solo mission aboard Shenzhou 5. Everything had been meticulously planned, but space has a way of surprising us. During the mission, Yang heard intermittent knocking sounds. They seemed to come from outside the spacecraft. He couldn't identify any internal system that could produce such a noise. Yang later described it precisely, like a wooden hammer striking iron. It is not continuous but occurs at irregular intervals. He was professional enough to complete his mission successfully, but the mystery lingered. China launched Shenzhou 6 with 2 astronauts aboard 2 years later. And then it happened again. The astronauts on Shenzhou 6 reported hearing the same knocking sound. Same description, same mysterious nature. Then, in 2008, the crew of Shenzhou 7 heard it too. 3 separate missions over 5 years, 3 different crews. All heard the same unexplained knocking. This wasn't a one-time anomaly anymore, it was a pattern. The Chinese space program took this seriously. Engineers analyzed spacecraft systems, scientists reviewed mission data. But even with 3 incidents to study, they couldn't definitively identify the source. To understand why this is so puzzling, we need to talk about the physics of sound in space. Professor Goh Cher-hyang from the National University of Singapore explains that sound requires a medium to travel. Sound waves need something to bounce off. Air particles, water molecules, solid materials. In the vacuum of space, there is no medium. Technically, you can't hear anything outside your spacecraft. Inside a spacecraft, you have air pressure and hear sounds from equipment, life support systems, or structural movements. But sounds from outside? That requires something physically contacting your ship. This brings us to an unsettling implication. If the astronauts heard knocking sounds, something had to be hitting the spacecraft. But what? Theory 1. Space debris? Perhaps small pieces of orbital debris were striking the spacecraft hull, creating the knocking sounds. Low Earth orbit contains millions of debris particles, everything from paint flecks to defunct satellite fragments. Collisions with tiny debris are common and usually harmless. Theory 2. Thermal expansion and contraction. Spacecraft experience extreme temperature swings moving between sunlight and shadow. Materials expand when heated and contract when cooled. These changes can create audible noises, creaks, groans, and potentially knocking sounds as different components expand or contract at different rates. Theory 3. Outgassing and pressure changes. Some equipment aboard spacecraft contains trapped air or gases. As pressure normalizes in space, these gases can escape, creating small vibrations. When astronauts hear strange sounds, scientists usually figure it out. Apollo 10's eerie whistling on the dark side of the moon, radio interference between modules, the Starliner's pulsing noise, audio feedback with the space station. But the Shenzhou knocking? After 3 missions, extensive analysis, and 20 years, no confirmed explanation remains. Why would the same sound occur across different spacecraft over 5 years? If it were debris, wouldn't the impact patterns differ? Wouldn't engineers have identified the specific components if it were thermal expansion? If it were outgassing, wouldn't it decrease over mission duration rather than occurring intermittently? Space continues to surprise us with unexplained phenomena. Voyager 1 detected an ominous hum from interstellar space. Black holes create sounds we're only beginning to understand. The knocking heard by Chinese astronauts joins a collection of cosmic mysteries. Sounds that remind us how much we still don't know about working and living beyond our planet. Perhaps future missions will finally solve this 20-year puzzle. Or perhaps some mysteries are meant to keep us wondering what else is waiting to be discovered in the vast silence of space.